What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? Hyperchaotic here with a K, double R. Welcome back to the channel, YouTube, BitChute, wherever you're watching. Thank you for giving me the chance. Double thank you if you stick to the end. And apologies for the way I speak. I will do my best, but I have a stutter. Just letting people know ahead of time. If they still have trouble understanding me, and never mind that I'm gonna slip here and there. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Anyway, today's topic that I have for you guys today is pretty much very much similar to the CinemaSins video that I made last time, which if you have not seen that video, I will leave a link in the description down below. But the last time I talked about CinemaSins, so I'm going to give a quick rundown. Again, if you want full context video down below. People are constantly criticizing CinemaSins and their content, but specifically, they're giving pointless, useless, unnecessary criticism that in no way, form, or fashion will help the creators behind the scenes at all whatsoever get better. Not only that, they don't even make any sense for what they're criticizing them for, mainly because of the type of content they're criticizing. That's number one. Apologies for that, any sounds in the background. And number two, how they go about doing things on said content, assuming they don't have specific rules for said content and how they go about it. That's just a quick rundown and understanding for what we're about to talk about today, which you'll most likely tell from the title and the thumbnail. Death Battle. As in the death battle. As in made by the Screwattack company. They're technically their own company, right? I'm assuming so. From the Screwattack, studios themselves, the death battle. Now, I want to make this very clear. Regardless of how you feel about the Death Battle cast, regardless if you like their content or not, that's not what I'm here about to talk about. And I'm not here to tell you why you should or shouldn't like Death Battle. And if you do think that's why I'm here, then you clearly didn't read the fucking title. Read the fucking title. Look at the fucking title. And I literally just said it. It's not about that I don't like haters or anything, or that I don't like that people don't like the content I like. I just hate it when people give unnecessary, pointless criticism that just don't make no sense for the content they're criticizing. That's it, and that's all. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you want to give it criticism, criticize it in a way that makes sense where it matters, is all I'm trying to say. CinemaSins is a good example because people constantly criticize them for, oh, why don't you do legitimate reviews? Why do you do this nitpick bullshit? This doesn't make any sense. You're putting bullshit in people's heads. Da, 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 da. The CinemaSins content were never reviews to begin with. I'm sorry if you went there thinking or expecting a review out of them, but they never were. They do nitpicks. Not reviews, not legitimate criticism, nitpicks. That's literally their fucking motto. That's all they fucking do. They nitpick movies for the fucking fun of it because they're assholes. And people are still criticizing them for not doing legitimate. Oh, well, too damn bad. Go somewhere else because that's not what the fuck they do. Now, some people will sometimes make the criticism that, okay, well, fine, but it doesn't help when they throw in a little bit of legitimate criticism in with their nitpicks. Now, that type of criticism I'm okay with, and I can actually agree with that. The whole point of the CinemaSins series is to nitpick. It doesn't make any sense to put legitimate criticism in there. And never mind when people criticize when they fuck up on their own nitpicks. Again, another criticism that I can agree with. Again, it's not about the fact that I'm mad people are criticizing the content I like. It's that you're giving bullshit criticism that doesn't make any sense or fit the content that you're watching and criticizing. And if you still don't get it after that example, then I don't know what to tell you. You're helpless. Move on. Go find another video to enjoy. Y'all are good? Okay. Well, those of you who actually want to stick around and hear what I have to say about Death Battle and their quote unquote criticizers, well, let's get into it. Now, before we get into the type of criticisms that I can't fucking stand hearing people give to the Death Battle crew, first let's start off with types of criticism that are okay, that should be acceptable. I mean, these are the type of criticisms that are acceptable by Death Battle, but I mean just by the whole community and anybody who watches in general. This is something y'all need to understand. When it comes to criticisms about the animations and how you feel about them. Now, I'm not talking about them looking like the exact properties that they're trying to represent. They're not always going to be able to get the exact same animation or art style that of a specific property that they are using a specific character from. So they do what they can. They're a self-made studio by people who basically, for lack of a better way to describe it, make video fan fiction. I mean, I honestly don't know what else to call it, but and I can get into a whole video in of itself, which I plan on doing later on in the future. How Death Battle is a type of fan fiction that a lot of people on the internet enjoy, but for lack of a better way to describe it, in a nutshell, Death Battle is essentially fan fiction. It's a form of fan fiction where we get characters from properties who probably would never ever meet otherwise, mainly because their property owners probably wouldn't allow it, who otherwise would never meet. And as the title says, they battle to the death. That is the point of Death Battle. But nevertheless, even for what they do, what they're able to do with the equipment that they have and the funding that they get, usually from ad revenue and also donations from fans, they do what they can. But even then, I could understand criticizing their animation. Maybe a part's too still. Maybe there's too much motion blur or whatever the heck it might be. I don't know. If you have a legitimate criticism for the animation, I can understand that. I can get behind that. The same thing for the voice acting. Now, again, they're not necessarily always going to be able to get the voice actors who voice said characters. They will probably get somebody who will, be able to mimic or recreate said character's personality in their own way, and do what they can. They have had the actual voice actors featured in Death Battle before, of course, but even then, still, they're not necessarily always going to be able to get them. Sometimes it's just copyright issues why they can't. And nevertheless, even then, if you had criticisms about the audio, about the vocal acting, I could understand that. And finally, when it comes to their math and calculations. Now, I've seen quite a few videos out there on the internet that will literally get deep and criticize the math the Death Battle crew did in their calculations and how accurate or inaccurate it may be for the specific characters that they're pairing up. And those people who are usually criticizing their calculations, they're not criticizing them because they're mad that, oh, my favorite character didn't get a chance to win. No. Well, their favorite characters being represented in a death battle, they just want them to represent them properly. I can understand that criticism. I can get behind that criticism. I can agree with that criticism. If they fail to do so, maybe hopefully they could try again and do better next time around. Maybe they can get a little bit of help from the fans themselves, which I'm pretty sure they do a lot of times, often than not. I mean, they have fucking community death battles, and those aren't technically even official death battles, just decisions made by the community, which is where the list of legitimate criticisms end and bullshit criticism begin. Now let's get into that discussion. People, ladies and gentlemen, viewers of Death Battle, fans of Death Battle, haters, or I'm sorry, criticizers of Death Battle. Plenty of you out there understand this already. You know this already. You've gotten this through your skull already. But there are a lot of people out there who probably either don't know this or just can't get it through their thick fucking skulls. Now let me start off by saying, and using another example of shitty criticism is, I hate it when people get mad that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to focus because just thinking about how stupid it is genuinely is making me upsetting and making me lose a little bit of focus. So, people, we have to remember, like I just said before, Death Battle is essentially a fan fiction series. Nothing they say or do within an actual death battle, minus their calculations that they're getting, well, from the actual series themselves, are canon to said series. Okay, they do not have the licenses to said series to make anything canon, to retcon anything at all whatsoever. Again, we're not talking about the legitimate criticism of miscalculations. We're just talking about people who get mad that, oh, a character is not properly represented because, oh, this is out of character. So and so would never fight in so and so. If so and so was to meet so and so, so and so, and so and so would, if anything, be friends. We get that. If those two characters from those two properties were to ever to meet, they would probably be friends instead of fighting to the death. What is going on, guys? After Edit Chaotic here. So earlier I mentioned how sometimes the actual voice actors of said characters from said properties are sometimes featured in a Death Battle episode, right? Voicing their said characters. If you think the issue of said character being out of character was ever an issue on Death Battle, don't you think said voice actors would say something and make it clear if that was an issue? Again, with Death Battle, they have a different set of rules. That doesn't matter, which we're about to get into that in a sec. I just wanted to add this in, but that doesn't matter. For the voice actors for, I forget their names, their real life names, so apologies for that. But the voice actors for Raven and Beast Boy for the original Cartoon Network Teen Titans, well, they do the Teen Titans Go characters as well, but still, were featured on a Death Battle podcast episode before. They were part of a community death battle. And I think specifically Raven, I think Beast Boy is going to be featured in one in the future. But specifically Raven was going to be featured in the next death battle. And her voice actress was going to voice her. If you think something being out of character was going to be an issue, don't you think she's going to bring that up? I mean, nobody's going to know their character more than anything than the actual voice actors who have to give them the character and the behavior to the character they voice. If that's an issue, they'll point it out. But if they see that the Death Battle's math seems accurate, hey, you know what? Whatever. Go for it, and that's their show. As far as their concern is, they're just doing a job. I mean, Death Battle allows them to give their 2 cents in. That's partially why they even bring them on a podcast sometimes. But still, even the voice actors themselves respect that Death Battle has their own set of rules. And how a lot of times what may be abnormal and out of behavior for a character doesn't matter. So if the actual voice actors themselves can respect that, why can't a lot of you out there do that? That's all I had to say. Let's go ahead and get back into the show. And I'm actually going to get into the death battle rules in just a second after this. So back to the show. But this is Death Battle, and they make it very clear in the beginning of their episodes. They forget about their canon personality and behaviors, because the only fucking thing they're focused on only a few things, a list of a few things with their death battles. And they make it very clear. They say it every fucking death battle. The show where they test their wits, armor, weapons, and skills to see who would win in a death battle. And no part of that did they ever say that they're including their behaviors and personalities to be like, oh, well, so and so will also probably might lose because of their beliefs and not killing and this and that. No, if a character is not one within a series, is not one to kill, well, too damn bad, because that's the canon series, and this is a fan fiction series. This is Death Battle. We're just trying to see who would win in a fight to the death. Their character and personality doesn't matter. Just their armor, wits, weapons, and skills. That is all. They make that very fucking clear every beginning of an episode. And on top of that, I also get irritated when people try to make the criticism, well, this is an unfair mashup. This was clearly an uneven battle. So-and-so is clearly weaker than so-and-so. Okay, but please tell me, at what point in time, in what episode, at any point in time in said episode, did they ever say they were only going to do fair matchups? At what point did they ever say they're only going to pair people up who would be an equal match for each other? They never said that at all. They never said Death Battle will only be matches with characters who would be an even match. They will do battles where characters will be an even match, where their battle will be close, so close, neck and neck to see who wins. But that's not the only type of death battles they do. If people within the community vote on a death battle and choose a specific pairing, even though they know for a fucking fact it's an uneven match, well, guess what, motherfuckers? They're gonna animate that episode because that's what the community asked for. To which I get into my next and my final fucking most irritating, most infuriating criticism to hear from haters. Oh, they just do these matchups to piss people off from the so-and-so fan base. They purposely do uneven matches, and they don't think twice about who they're pairing. You don't think they do? You don't? And you think the fans, the people who actively come back again and again and again and again and again and again to watch again and again and again, don't know the characters that they're voting for, don't understand the series of said characters, where they come from? Do you think viewers and fans who actually vote on a death battle don't fucking understand the characters enough to know whether or not a battle will be an uneven match? They do! A lot of them do! A lot of us do. I can tell you plenty of fucking times. Now, to be fair, I never had a chance to actually vote on an actual death battle. I typically miss the polls. But even then, if I had a chance to vote and I voted amongst a lot of other people on a pairing where I know it's an uneven match, but I still want to see those two to fight anyways, then guess what? A, they're going to do that because that's the option that won. So they're going to give what the fans want. And B, I can't be mad if my favorite character ends up losing if I know there's a chance it's going to be an uneven match. If I know there's a chance they're going to lose. I could definitely say there have been a few Death Battle episodes where I wanted a specific character to win and they didn't. But I said, oh well, if the calculations are correct, then the calculations are correct. They lost. I guess I'm going to have to move on to the next episode when it's ready. And I could definitely tell you there were plenty of matches where I could tell the second I clicked on the video, this is not going to be an even unfair match. I can already tell before I look at the timestamp it's going to be a quick one. Looks at timestamp. Yep, this is the short episode. Guess what? I watch it anyways because I still enjoy Death Battle and I want to see how these characters would fight each other. Even if I know the one on the right will definitely lose against the one on the left. I don't care because I still enjoy the animation and the voice acting and the series as a whole. And again, if you have criticisms about their calculations, then fine. They might do another death battle in the future. They'll do characters more than once with different pairings. One that might even be an actual even match. But for fuck's sake, people, they literally have their own rules on how they go about doing death battles. And most of them are chosen by the fucking fans. The people who actively watch. The people who actively donate their fucking money. The people who actively will buy a product with their QR code. Or just click the fucking link to support them. Or let a fucking ad run through so they can get some fucking ad revenue. They're purposely paying for that fucking content. You don't think they don't know what the fuck they're watching? If you want to criticize the animation, the voice acting, the the calculations and how they represent your favorite character, then fine. But you can't criticize them for the way they do their death battles when they already had their fucking rules set since they did the fucking series with season 1. This is not a fair matchup. When did they say they only did fair matchups? Oh, you just choose random characters. No, they don't. The fans choose. Ugh. Oh, a certain character would have never. They are not talking about their personalities. They're not talking about them as a character. They're not comparing. This is not a versus matchup of who's a better character or who's a better person. It's a death battle. They look at their skills, armors, wits. That's it. And nowhere did it say they look at their fucking personality too. Yes, they'll describe the characters and who they are, and will describe their personalities. They're not fucking including their personalities as part of the calculations for the battle itself. They're just describing said character so anybody can understand who the character is, even those who click on a video who probably have never seen Death Battle before, which is why they announce how they do it every fucking episode. Or how many people who might be fans of the series already, but may never have ever heard of a specific character. I can tell you plenty of characters I've never heard of until I watched Death Battle. And now I'm checking them out in their actual properties. I mean, hell, I just watched a video of the last week's Death Battle with Link versus Cloud Sword. I've never played either of their fucking games. I barely understand either of those fucking characters. But I'll tell you one thing, if I could, I definitely would try a Zelda game now if I could. That Final Fantasy remake, I might just give it a try. I might look up a video essay to understand these characters even more so as characters. But I didn't click on a Death Battle to get a fucking character breakdown on Cloud Sword and Link. No, I clicked on a Death Battle video to get a Death Battle between Link and Cloud Sword. Or Cloud Strife, whatever the fuck his name is. Sorry this turned into a rant, people, but if you saw the Nemesis video, you probably saw this coming. To which, again, if you haven't, I will leave a link in the description down below. But this shit just irritates the fuck out of me. You do not have to like a certain property, people. But if they do shit a certain way, there are places you can legitimately criticize them for. Just let it make sense. If they have rules on how they do it already, you can't be mad they don't do it a certain way you want it. They already have their own fucking rules. No personality, just armor, wits, weapons, skill. That's it. Oh well, calculations show that they're weaker and they lost. Move on till they do another death battle with those characters, or if they still do them, which I don't know if they do, watch the alternate endings. Like, seriously, they do alternate. I don't know if they still do it. I haven't even watched one at all. But they do alternate endings. So if you want your character to win that bad and see if the math or the calculations would have had up, then watch the alternate ending. Or if they're still not doing them anymore, ask them to bring it back. But don't go criticizing them for how they do their business when they've been doing it like that since season fucking 1. And don't get mad for the choices they end up making for a battle when that shit is chosen by the fans. You can't be mad at a matchup when it's chosen by the fans. If there's anybody you should be mad at the fans. Which even then, you still can't be mad at them because, like I said, whether it be actually buying a product with their QR code, donations, or just adding an ad run through, never mind their data being traded. One way or another, they literally fucking paid for it. Any way they're able to support their favorite creator, in one way or another, they're paying for it. They want it to keep going. You don't like it? Move on. But people like me who are sticking down to watch, letting an ad play, clicking their links for sponsors, or literally donating fucking money for an episode, we want to see it. We're the ones choosing the episodes. So you don't like it? Boo fucking who? Go cry about it in a corner and move the fuck on. Or if you're going to criticize it, give it some legitimate fucking criticism. And if you want a very good video that would be a perfect example of actual criticism, specifically on Death Battle, fuck me, I cannot remember the name of this YouTuber or his video, but I'll put it up on screen right now, and I'll leave a link in the description down below. But this guy did a full video on multiple death battles from Death Battle, and actually gave them legitimate criticism on their calculations and how they went about it. And he was actually unbiased Because he respects the rules and the fact that the fans are the ones who fucking choose the battle. The fans! Not the Death Battle team, the fans. They make the final decision, and he recognizes that. But he still gives criticism towards Death Battle, legitimate criticism. Because he's not criticizing them over stupid bullshit or for their own rules that they had set up since the beginning. No. He's giving them legitimate criticism on their calculations and where they may or may not have been wrong. And I don't agree with them completely, but at the same time, I actually enjoyed his video. Just for the fact that some of the criticisms, in my opinion, most of them actually, almost all of them pretty much, were fair. Made sense. And completely unbiased, which was fucking refreshing for once. And he himself still very much enjoys the Death Battle show. Time to time. He just hates it when they get the calculations wrong or don't represent a character right. So he will criticize him for it. And you know what? That's fair criticism. Because that makes sense and a legitimate thing to criticize him for. And that's something they could probably do need to work on. That's probably a department they do need to get better at it. And at the same time, they do get help from the fans. So if they get misinformation from the fans, you can't completely blame them. Yes, they should be fact checking it. But they only got so many people on their crew that can only do so much, which is why they get help from the fans in the first place. And I'm pretty sure they still have their own deadlines, because if a show takes too long, people are going to be like, what the fuck, and start to disappear. If a show takes too long, people are going to start to say, what the fuck, and start to disappear. So, yeah, again, if you want to see a video with legitimate criticism on Death Battle and their episodes, I will leave a link to that video in the description down below. Respects to that man, credit to that guy. Apologies, I didn't remember your name. I will remember once I look it up. But man, thanks for actually having fair criticism in one of your videos and being unbiased. It really was refreshing for once. Because I just can't stand it when people are just constantly giving content creators bullshit, unnecessary, pointless criticism. And all they're doing is nitpicking. All they're doing is nitpicking. Not giving any legitimate criticism. Doing the exact same bullshit in reverse that they keep complaining to CinemaSins for. Which is fucking ironic to me. Thoughts down below, agree, disagree, that's fine. If you do disagree, give me legitimate points that make sense and not that stupid bullshit like I just went through. Otherwise, I'm just going to take it as you didn't fucking listen. I'm not even going to acknowledge you because you're clearly not going to have a fair and balanced conversation. For those of you who will have legitimate points, I will have a fair and respectful conversation with you. As long as you're willing to be fair and respectful too. And still a little bit unbiased. I will take criticisms into consideration for my own content as well. Just don't be an ass about it. And again, give criticism that makes sense. Otherwise, if you don't like a certain style or the way I do things, move on. Other than that, again, if it's just quality-wise, give me fair criticism. Other than that, certain topics and whatnot, or what I decide to do a certain day, it's just whatever. I'm still figuring shit out. I'm still figuring shit out on my channel. So regardless of what you enjoy me for, if you like and subscribe, thank you all so much. I will take criticisms, I will, but mostly on quality, because again, I'm experimenting with stuff. So something you like or might not like, on this channel might not even stick around for too long. Which I'm still seeing what's going to happen in the next few months with my own channels. With that said, I'm gonna end the video right here. Stuttering too much, and I need to turn my AC back on because I am cooking. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did stick to the end, if you didn't enjoy this video and you're gonna move on, seriously, still thank you just for sticking all the way to the end, regardless. Even if you're not gonna stick around. I'm Hyper Chaotic, YouTube, BitChute. Thank you for your time. I'm out. Yeah, show the Death Battle crew some respect, and if you're gonna criticize them, give them legitimate criticism. Fucking Christ, man, and respect their own rules. They got their own rules for a reason.